You know, if you have pain in anywhere in the body and it just keeps coming back, there's a couple of things that could be happening. And that's what this video is about today. Let's talk about the pain threshold. What's up everybody, Andy Shea from Marie Born, and today we're going to be talking about the pain threshold. Now I'm pretty sure all of us have pushed past pain before. For example, if you have like knee pain and you're running and you're like, oh, my knee hurts, but then you carry on running and the pain just dissipates, you're like, oh, okay, carry on running. But after you're done running, then all of a sudden the pain comes and hits you in the face. You're like, oh my God, that hurts. This repeats time and time and time again. And everybody just says, it's fine, just keep pushing past the pain. And that's our mentality in this no pain, no gain scenario. Well, this no pain, no gain thing is totally fine for life and death situations. Like if you're in the military, you're in battle, or whatever it is, you're in a fight, absolutely push past the pain. But most of us aren't living everyday life in threat. Why do we need to train like that? Why do we need to push our bodies so hard beyond the limit of what it's capable of, always pushing it to pain in order to think that we're going to be progressing? And yes, we might progress for a short period of time, but then we end up stacking long-term injuries that just keeps piling on top of each other and we don't know why. And that's where the pain threshold comes in. Think that we're drawing a graph right over here, and this is the threshold of pain. So basically, if you're doing some movements and stuff, you go, walking, running, doing squats, lunges, whatever it is, and you're like, oh, I feel pain over there. Most of us, as soon as we feel that pain, for example, that runner, whatever it is, we feel the pain in the knee or the back and we're like, it kind of hurts. Let's just keep going. Push past it. Boom. And we're above that pain threshold. So notice anything above here, the brain goes, you know what? I've told you to stop. You're not stopping. So anywhere above this pain threshold, the brain just shuts down the pain receptors. So you don't feel pain anywhere up over here. So you're training up above the pain threshold. And then when you're done training, the brain goes, okay, now I'm going to tell you, don't do that again. And bam, you're on top of that pain threshold. And you're essentially just undulating above and below that pain. And that's when we end up hurting for a long time. Then we go to the doctor, whatever it is, and they tell you to rest. And when you rest, you're not moving those muscles, you're not pushing past the pain anymore, then the body drops under. But hey, we're human. As soon as we feel a little bit better, what do? We push to pain again, we go, it hurts, push past the pain threshold. So we're always functioning up and down this pain threshold. So if the threshold is always here, there's a limit to it, and the brain hates it when you go above it. So it will never rise up higher because it doesn't want you to go any further. And that's why it keeps giving you pain, because we're not listening to correcting this. So here's the second scenario of what I typically do. For example, if you're running or doing a specific exercise that's causing pain, you go, ooh, that hurts right over here. Instead of going above it, take that as a limit to be like, hey, something is wrong, don't move past it. You're gonna work underneath it. So we're working underneath that pain threshold. Maybe you're running a little bit less right until you feel the pain, and then as soon as you acknowledge it, do a little bit less. And all of a sudden, if it doesn't hurt, the brain goes, hey, I've been doing this for a little bit. It doesn't hurt. Can I do more? Then the pain threshold rises, and then you can keep going. You might hit the limit again, like, oh, that's too much. Right there, drop under it. Over time, it goes higher. So you're always working underneath that pain threshold, and realize that there's essentially no limit to the amount of pain you can tolerate because you're always working underneath it. And you get to a point where too much will definitely be too much. You hit your genetic limit or how much your body can handle at this specific point in time, then you work underneath that. But it's going to be higher than your baseline pain threshold because you're teaching the body and the mind that it can go further without having any pain. Now let's give you another scenario. For example, I have shoulder pain over here. So many people have rotator cuff tears or shoulder impingement and stuff like that, and this movement typically hurts. So if we're always moving and we're like, it pinches over there, and you're always doing an exercise and trying to push past that pinch, and then all of a sudden it gets inflamed, you're basically hitting that pain threshold the entire time. What if you try this? If it hurts right over there, you're like, ooh, okay, that really hurts. Acknowledge that. Instead of pushing past that range, go right underneath it and be like, oh, that doesn't hurt. Can you do all different ranges that don't hurt? Learn to breathe, learn to relax that tissue, learn to use all the other body parts to be able to help move this muscle along and be like, hey, that actually doesn't hurt in all of these different ranges. But as soon as you go right there, you're like, oh, okay, just underneath that. Over time, if you learn how to breathe and move a little bit better, you get some myofascial release and open up these tissues, and the brain goes, hey, like, can I go a little bit further? It goes, ooh, that doesn't hurt anymore. Then you learn to own that new range of motion. Now the same principle applies for stretching. Stretching is actually a type of pain as well. So if you're always stretching beyond the limit and you're pushing as far as the muscle naturally wants to go and you're driving it through, yes, temporarily the brain gives up and says, hey, you know what? I'm not gonna win this tug of war right now. So the brain shuts down that stretch reflex and allows you to go a little bit further. But then that mobility dissipates within 20 or 30 minutes because the body goes, hey, I did not like that. It bounces straight back and you're back to essentially where you started the stretch in the first place. So if that is constantly giving you temporary relief, instead of pushing beyond the limit it's wanting you to go, just go 30-40% of that stretch. Learn to breathe into that movement and don't overstretch, and the brain goes, hey, that actually feels good. Instead of forcing it to go further than it wants to go, then it will naturally give you a little bit more. If you do that consistently, one, it hurts a lot less, you're giving your body an easier time, but in the long run, you will have way more mobility and flexibility over time. So remember, pain threshold is here. Whatever you do, work underneath it, but then train in all different ranges around that pain threshold so that the body and mind starts realizing that, hey, it's actually okay to move more. Then it naturally just allows you to move a little bit further. All my clients and my workout programs are designed along this pain threshold. So if you haven't seen it already, follow my ramp method in my YouTube playlist. I have online programs that I've attached below as well that will take you through a full body joint by joint mobility program called Movement Unwound. The whole idea is to just build a little bit more awareness of what your body is feeling. Please like, comment, subscribe. That will help this channel grow a lot further so I can keep sharing this brain to everybody else in the world. If you have any questions, please shoot me a comment below. I'm more than happy to help you out. Andy Shea from Movement Reborn. Have an awesome day. Peace!